I just want to do a video about my January TBR for 2021. So I have a pretty big pile, pretty ambitious pile for 2021. I've been in a reading type of slump for the past few months just because there's been a lot going on, and I know with the pandemic you would think I'd be reading more, but it hasn't happened. But in the past month, that has changed. So I'm pretty ambitious with how this is going to be going, and yeah, I'm participating in 3 readathons so far of January 2021. I am participating in the Pageathon, Among Us Read-a-thon, and A-year-a-thon, I think it's A-year-a-thon. I'll put it up on the screen about right here what it actually is if I'm wrong, but I think it's A-year-a-thon. Or A-year TBR-thon. A-year-a-thon? A-year TBR? A-year TBR? I will stop now because I'm probably wrong on all accounts. So, I'm going to start out with the books that I will be reading for the Among Us Read-a-thon, which I will link to the Twitter account for that, the Twitter page. I will link that down below. But I'll explain it very briefly. But basically, you pick if you're a crewmate or imposter, and each color of those, like the imposter has different tasks than the crewmate. I don't know much about the imposter because I myself am a crewmate. And if you aren't surprised, I picked the yellow crewmate. I'm always the yellow crewmate. And the first task, everyone has the same one. And I think that's swipe a card. And there's another task, it's either or, but I can't remember the second one. And each task has a prompt that goes along with it. I can't remember what my 4 prompt, hold on. I can actually check this. And my 4 tasks is swipe card, which everyone has the same one, which I just said. Unlock manifolds and divert power, but the divert power has 2 parts. So the 4 books I will be reading for that is for my swipe card. I will be reading Stumbling Towards Happiness by Kat Lehman. I just got this. You'll be seeing this in a haul video that I will be posting very soon. All poetry books, by the way, because I have a slight obsession with poetry books. But this will be the first one that I'm reading for my swipe card. And then for my Unlock Manifolds, I can't remember, this is a standalone novel. The Unlock Manifolds is a book with someone with a disability, and for that I will be reading Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I don't know, I count mental illness as a disability, and so does like the government, so I will be using that. I don't know if anyone else in this readathon is including that, but I am personally, because it is a disability. So that is what I've been reading. I started it, but I got like 2 pages in, and I just had it was in a reading slump and I couldn't finish it. But I really have wanted to read this for a long time, so I will be reading this. For my Divert Power Part 1, I will be reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. It was by a person of color author. So I picked this, and I've also been wanting to read this for a very long time, so finally getting around to that. And this is a very important topic and a very important book people should be reading, so especially now with the times that we're having. And then the last one for Divert Power 2, I am reading Between You and These Bones. I cannot for the life of me remember what the prompt was. Oh, it was read a book by a new to you author. So this is a new to me author by FD Soul. The cover is just stunning. And so yeah, this is what I'll be reading. And those are my 4 books for the Among Us round 1. I don't know how many rounds there will be, and we don't know any other information that I know of at the moment. But there's a point system, and there's a sheets that you log your finished books on, and you get points. Like I said, the link for that will be down below. I'm not going to be explaining it anymore, just because it's going to take a lot of time. And I don't know everything about it. The Among Us Read-a-thon starts at the beginning of January 1st to the 31st of January. Yeah, so that's that. And then the second readathon that I'm doing is the Pageathon. And for that, I already started this. Also starts at the 1st of January, ends at the 31st. I started this, which is September Love by Lang Luave. I'm guessing that's how you say that. I'm not good with pronouncing names, so forgive me if I'm completely wrong. This was a great book. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I have a lot of favorites in it. These are my all-time favorites, and these are like just general favorites. So yeah, I really liked it. Like I said, I have an obsession with poetry, and this is also going to be in the haul that I post. So for the second book/books that I'm doing for the Pageathon, or the Kakagururi, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Either way, I'm probably wrong. But volumes 1 and 2, I love the anime. I started watching it back when it first came out. So underrated. It was so good. It's my favorite anime. I'm so happy that there's a ton of hype about it now, especially on TikTok. I'm not sure if people are actually watching it or if they're just using the sound, but it's such a good anime, and I'm so happy that there's more hype about it. But got my hands on volume 1 and 2, and I'll be counting these on the Pageathon. The next book that I'm reading for the Pageathon is The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. I've started reading this a very long time ago. I got like about this much into it, and then I stopped reading it. This was years ago. But I've wanted to read it for a while, and yeah, it's finally. And oh, another thing with the Pageathon, you get extra points because I'm doing the winter one, not the year-long one. Well, as of now, you get bonus points if it's mainly blue, mainly white. I think it includes winterish words in the title. And there's a couple other bonus point factors that I'm not really aware of, but I know this one is because it's mainly blue. So yeah, it would be bonus points. Yeah, I've wanted to read this for a while, and it will be on my TBR. The next one I want to finish is Homebody. I started this on the 1st, so technically I can count it for my Pageathon. Because I started at like 12:30 at midnight, like 30 minutes after midnight or 1 in the morning, somewhere around then. So I do get to count this, the whole book too. So I want to finish this. I'm almost done with it. Again, I love Ruby Carr's work. This will also be in the poetry haul. I'm trying to get a lot of these done. But yeah, that's the next book I want to read. The next book I want to read is Citizen by Claudia Rankine, not really sure. Another really good book that people should be reading, especially now. People should be reading more books by people of color, and especially about like Black activism and things surrounding the disadvantages that people of color have. And I read this I was supposed to read this for a class, and I never got around to it because I'm the worst. I ended up dropping that class, so that's why I didn't get around to it, but I own the book, so I was like, you know what, I want to read this, and I'm really into poetry, and it's a lyrical, I think, or it's like, yeah, it's a lyric, but I'm really loving it so far. I'm like a quarter of the way through. It's really good, and I really suggest people pick this up. So that's another one on my TBR, specifically for Pageathon, and also going to count in the third one I count. I think it's A-year-a-thon. I'm going to keep saying that, even though I don't know if that's correct. And that's from the 8th to the 14th of January. So this will be in it because the topic is underrated or underrated or not hyped books for January. So that is what I believe this is, because I haven't really heard anyone else talking about it. So yeah, that is part of that one, and just a January TBR. I have a stack accumulating. The next one for underrated is Howl's Moving Castle, the book specifically, because I know the movie is all hyped, but I don't see a lot of people talking about the book, so I'm counting it as that, towards that. And so yeah, I wanted to read this for a long time. It looks thick, but the words are really big compared to the page. And I loved the movie. It was the first Studio Ghibli movie I ever watched, and it has a special place in my heart. And I heard there's quite a little bit of differences, and I heard that he's more dramatic in the book, which I find hard to believe, but it's Howl. You know what I mean? He's dramatic as hell. So yeah, that is the second to last book on my TBR. And then the last book I have on my TBR, which is another underrated and another poetry book, and will also be in my haul, is The Road Between by Courtney Peppernell. Just look at this cover. Stunning. It's so beautiful. And the one thing I love about poetry books is that most of them are that soft cover. Absolutely love it. It's my favorite. The only downside is that it gets like marks on them really easily, which this was already on here, which I'm pretty upset about. I got it in the mail and it already had like a bunch of grease marks on it, which I didn't touch it yet, but that's besides the point. But yeah, so that is the last book of my TBR. I do hope to read more, and because I think the manga and the poetry books will go a little faster than the thick like novels, so I'm thinking I can get more done than I typically would if I read all novels. So yeah, so that is my TBR, and I will see you again in the poetry book haul. Bye! Hey guys, I noticed while I was editing that I never mentioned that all of the books that I'm reading throughout the month count towards the Pageathon, just because they all count because I'm reading. The Pageathon doesn't really have any prompts, it just has the bonus points that count. I'm looking at the wrong side of the phone. Sorry. The Pageathon has bonus points for the books, but that's the only prompts that there is. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that I will also link all the pages for these readathons down below, whether it be Goodreads or Twitter or whatever. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in. Bye!